So let's get ready for Workday next release for the absence management. So my name is Juhana Vaurio. I'm a lead functional consultant here at Tietoevry. I have a few certifications already regarding Workday, but I'm most often working with the data conversions, absence management, and time tracking areas. And I've been with Tietoevry for more than 5 years now, concentrating on the Workday projects and support. So if you have any questions, you can post them to the Q&A section, and they will be picked up. So don't. This is the safe harbor statement. So just reminding that any future-looking statements might not actualize. Okay. To our topic for the next half an hour. So the new key features I've identified for this release regarding absence is the absence user interface, and here we will find out why there are quotes here in the next slides. Then there is a case number generation now available for leaves, and then there is a report made for checking the details of your balances and how is many days or hours you might lose forfeiting in the end of the balance period. So this was not available before by Workday. So we will also see that, and then some miscellaneous features in the end. So the absence user interface is going live in the normal schedule. The overview here is that Workday has been previously talking about time-offs and leaves, and it's mostly US-based terminology. So for Europeans, there is often just kind of absence, and there is not that big difference between the both. So kind of in Workday, it's usually just practical, what makes sense depending on the need of the absence type, which configuration would be used. So, but now Workday has given us a hand and gives the ability to use the term absence a bit more around the tenant. So we will see that, and configuration related to this is fairly simple. So then there is security domain called self-service worklets absence, and if the worker has access to this, then they will see the changes in the user interface. Otherwise, they won't. And so where it might be a bit what you need to consider is of course activating then the security policy changes. And just if you're not already using this, then you can add the people there, for example, the employee self group. So let's pop into a demo. So I'm here logged in as Logan McNeil, who has this security domain enabled for her. So I will go to her profile, and here you're able to see the absence title here. So this was previously time off, but now it should be updated to absence, which hopefully makes more sense for some use cases and some user groups. Then also here there is absence balance instead of time off balance. I'm just highlighting here, and then the absence request instead of the time off and leave requests. So bit of a cosmetic update here, and so you might want to take into account when if there is a change happening to users that they will be able to find the right menu items again. So the buttons for add absence and edit absence are intact here. And good to mention that these are also reflected in the mobile app. So you will find the changes also there, even the configuration has been done. But furthermore, I was thinking, while this is fairly simple and straightforward, but some things you might want to check. So for example, is your organization in scope for this change? So then check the domain. Is there any groups there, and who which user groups might benefit from this? And then if there is a change, for example, if you have US personnel, so maybe it's not ideal for them, and then you might consider that they would switch to using other worklets than the absence worklet, which has to be separately enabled for the home page, but availability is controlled by this domain. So in that case, you want to separate your employees. Intersection security groups could be a solution. For example, employee self in some countries where you want this enabled could be used for the security domain. And be sure to check that the worklets are then correctly configured, as this domain controls the availability for them for the absence worklet. But there's also time off and time and absence worklets that that could be used for your users. So to the summary. So it's mostly about terminology, both in desktop and mobile, and to configure, it's just a security admin's job to add the groups, necessary groups in the worklet absence domain. Yeah, if you don't have now anyone there is nothing going to happen. So be sure to check it. All right, so let's go to the next topic, which is the case number generation for leaves. So normal schedule is announced for September 10th in production. The overview here is that you can apply a sequence numbering in your leave events, and this is done by a new area in the tenant setup HCM page, and then you also, when you take it into use, you need also to enable it in the necessary leave type where you want to use it. So we have here the configuration, but let's run through it in the demo. So I'll first edit the leave type that I'm planning to use. This time it will be the Finnish maternity leave. Then going to the additional field section, adding case number, and I'm not selecting required because it will be automatically created. So this could be done for the other leave types if needed. Then I'm going to the tenant setup, searching for the leave area and the case number sequence generator here. Then you're going ahead and create the sequence generator. So let's say we have 5 in the padding, and then we can have our idea that we have annual sequence. So I will place the sequence here. Let's see. So here's the example sequence. We have year and then a rolling number. So we want to restart it for its year, and then we are good. So now it's selected, and we can go to the enter absence view. We have a Finnish worker. select the date range from September. And the long-term absence here, maternity leave. We'll fill in some dates here. So expected due date. We don't know the birth date yet, actually, of course. And then here we have the case number. But I will not put anything there. We hope there it is generated. So here it is, and the case number was actually generated, and then the next one will have the number 1 and so on. So this helps you in keeping track of the events where it might be needed, and it's a global numbering in your Workday system. So keep that in mind. Not specific to the leave type. So then you're able to use it in reporting. Necessarily, it's not yet included in the payroll in the questions, but I read some comments that it should be there in the future. One additional consideration is that the same case number can be used in some cases when the leaves are linked per event and they are happening within the same balance period. So Workday has a possibility to link different leave requests into one and then consider the available balance. So then this can be also kind of copied, and so it's using the same. But otherwise, it will not allow to use the same number. So here's the summary. Good to know that there's no impact if you don't configure this feature. All right, then we have next up is balances and period end for feeds reporting. And so Workday was kind enough to deliver 2 new standard reports and related report fields for balances and period end forfeits. So you're able to report this for workers and by the workers themselves. So let's jump into the demo. So we have a report, my time of balances details, to select the time of plans that we want to check, and in Logan's case, it's the vacation plan here. It's on an annual balance period, as we see here. Then we can see that she has carried over 26 units, and in this case it's days from the previous balance period and accrued 31 days. So then the total balance is 57 today. Yeah, it is days indeed. Just wanted to be sure. And then, because the configuration for this is that only 11 days are allowed to be carried over. So now, if she will not take more vacation before the year end, she would stand to lose 46 days of her earned holiday. So this is, of course, depending on the specific configuration. But in this case, there is a limit to the carryover amount. So then there is a few fields that you're able to use for custom reporting. And also the same report is available for other than yourself for the admin personnel. So important takeaway still from this side is that no impact to current configuration. Okay, then we've gone through the key features, and let's look at some other features. So there were some miscellaneous enhancements. The first one is the ability to cross-reference leave events and leave return events. So before, these were kind of separate, even though they in practice were to return someone from a certain leave, but you couldn't access the data through the business object. So now this is available. So then you can fetch all the data needed for your reporting. For example, the actual end date of the request leave event. Then there is an enhanced view override balances for organization report. So it's just adding a couple of columns there: employee ID, the balances section, and supervisory organization. So this can definitely be helpful for reporting the balances for your organizations. Then there's an update to the REST protocol in correct time of before absence table. So this could mean in practice that the Workday assistant is able to do corrections when absence tiers have been used. This wasn't possible before. Of course, you might have some other applications that are using the REST. So then you might consider this new change and might be more confident also then to implement the absence tables. Okay, a few more. Still, there are report fields for the absence tier events. So now you would be able to report on the actual time off that was used by the absence tier event, and then also the time of type name. So now this can help you identify what is really happening behind the absence tier. Then two balance reporting fields. There's time of balance as of prior balance period end date. So this can be just convenient to for reporting that you can easily produce this value, which was difficult to do before. So it just gives that number that how many days, for example, you had at year end, and also reports the end date of the previously mentioned balance period. Also, compensation package as of period start and end dates can be now used in reporting and absence accrual configuration typically. So if you are using multiple compensation packages, you might want to use this configuration feature to make the accruals absolutely correct. So then also I identified a couple of features that were marked as delayed. So there is absence eligibility reporting by organization and re-evaluate absence table time of entries tasks, and the checkbox on the absence table when creating is set that it would then by default enable the re-evaluation. Small change, of course, but these were marked as delayed, and there wasn't yet info when they would be ready for release. Okay, let's take a quick look in the roadmap. So these are in the categories of experience, efficiency, and insight. So there in the experience section, there is the my time coming, which is kind of combined experience with time entry, and then custom labels for time off and leave are planned. So you might be able to kind of give the labels instead of absence. You could have it as something else. Then the time of crossing midnight. So when using the time entries, this is this feature is also in the roadmap, and then quicker canceling of time of requests. Then in the efficiency section, we have absence tiers with a conditional cascade. So for example, that there's some waiting periods which rely on if you already had several sick leaves, so you might go into the waiting period, and this now this type of kind of evaluation should be possible in the future. Also, position-based absences on the absence tables, buying, selling, and donating time off work tax could be enabled for the time offs for advanced reporting, and the leave management should be made easier. And then in the insight section, consolidated time tracking and absence management reporting is there for enhancement, and this is could be something nice. I remember generating or creating a very large report for one client that was trying to figure out how many days they worked, taking into account the time entries and different absences, and if they were entering positive or negative time. And so if, for example, this could be made easier, I would very much welcome this. So thanks for joining, and please leave feedback through the QR code or the link in the chat. And if you have any more questions, you can contact me at my email.